Hello and welcome to the Oxygen Addict Triathlon Podcast. We're brought to you every week by our sponsors tgstore.co.uk.
The home of Gore Bike Wear, Gore Running Wear and Aquasphere wetsuits. You can get 10% off with the code OxygenAddict10 and you can win a Gore bike or a Gore run jacket at tgstore.co.uk/Oxygen Addict.
Our other sponsors are Team Oxygen Addict at team.oxygenaddict.com.
And they offer event-specific training plans, coaching guidance from Coach Rob Wilby.
That's me, hello.
And supportive teammates in a private Facebook group.
And Triathlon X.
The world's toughest iron distance race. You can get a £100 discount on your entry fee with the code OXYGEN100.
Only limited places left though, so you've got to be quick. I think we're down into the very few last places available due to cancellations now. So toughest race in the world in the Lake District. Get yourself in there. All right, so Hells, how on earth are you today, my friend? It's nice to talk to you again.
I know. Do you want the honest truth, Rob?
Yes, I always want the honest truth.
I feel really tired.
Oh, you wiped out?
No, not even. No, it's more of a... It's more of the shift work thing. I did a late shift last night and got to bed at 2 a.m. but then woke up at 7, so I'm now very tired.
Oh, bless your con socks.
But there you go. Other than that, grand. Loving the sunshine, and I had a few days away last week on the Isle of Man, which was amazing.
Yeah, tell us about that. How was it?
Brilliant. Well. Okay, so we went over on Wednesday, and it was disgusting weather.
Oh, bless. Did you just miss this period of nice weather?
Well, we got it on Thursday and Friday. So
okay. All right. So just Wednesday was the tough one, was it?
Wednesday was just horrendous. And but being the crazy, British people that we are, and the reason that we had gone over there was to do some cycling, so we kind of, womaned up, and got on the bikes in the peeing rain. Did about 40 miles. So we did the TT course. But the thing is, we couldn't actually do all the TT course because the mountain road bit was actually shut because of snow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was that minging.
Wowzers.
So I was actually... See, this is where the old Gore jacket would have... kept me cozy and everything like that, and gore gloves.
Would have saved your life, would it?
Yeah, but sadly it arrived a day late. So,
No.
so I was there with my non-gore wear, and I am not joking. I was in the shower, crouched, just in tears because my hands were so painful.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not good.
It wasn't good. So I'm taking that one.
You really struggle with it, don't you, when you get it?
Yeah, I'm taking one for the year. That was a mental tick, a big fat mental tick. Like we were even going to have coffee and cake in Ramsey. I was like, I'm literally not stopping. I'm having a bite of energy bar and I am carrying on, because if I stop, I think I'm going to have to hitch a lift home.
Oh, you can't stop for coffee and cake on a rainy day, can you? That's just suicide.
Yeah. So, no, that was Wednesday. And then Thursday. Thursday was like a different tale, Rob. It was sunny. It was windy. So it was a bit like Lanzarote, but without the warm temperatures.
Without the scorchio heat.
Yeah. It was super windy. And we did a loop of the island, basically.
And how long did that have you out for?
Just short of 6 hours.
Oh, nice. A solid ride.
Solid ride.
Solid ride in March. That's brilliant, mate.
Good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a pub lunch. That's not included in the 6 hours, but that was brilliant. So I had a mushroom stroganoff halfway round.
Wonderful. None of your cheap sugary gels here. Mushroom stroganoff. And a glass of red.
No, I didn't have a glass of rouge at that point, but we did have lovely kind people had baked cakes, and so every couple of hours they would appear down the road or at a lighthouse with water and banana bread and flapjacks. So it was like, this is the best ride ever.
So people were popping out of the houses to support you?
No, pre-planned. Pre-planned.
No, I don't mean just like random people coming out with cake, but obviously your organiser had done a sterling job, right?
Yeah, support vehicle with, at lunchtime I could get my coat,
Yeah.
sit there with a woolly hat on, and then a couple of hours later, after another big climb, it's like, oh, what a shame, the van's there again, and there's still some banana cake left.
Love it.
It was great.
And then what was your next day? How did you back that up the next day?
Just mooching around Douglas. A 20-minute jog.
Okay.
And then walking, lots of walking.
Right, so you were off the bike, were you, on day 3?
Yeah, the bikes had to go back. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So two good rides. One massive mental tick in the rain. One massive confidence booster tick for, okay, the turbo's paid off on the longer ride. Yeah, a bit of thinking time when I'd get dropped from the group. Bit of, it was great. Loved it.
It's always nice, like, first up, it's always nice to go, yeah, all that turbo work definitely did the job over the winter, isn't it? Because I know everyone has doubts and goes, am I really going to be able to ride for 6 hours? So it's dead good to get that under your belt. But I'll tell you what I really love about you is you've had a hideously freezing cold, disgusting, painful crying in the shower experience, and you've turned it into a positive already. That's the lesson right there, man. That's where it's at. I've put a tick in the box because I'm harder now mentally than I was a week ago. Good for you, Hells.
Thanks. It was one of those ones where you're questioning why I'm actually doing this, because personally I didn't really enjoy it, and I think that's a bit pointless in a way, but equally I had flown to the Isle of Man. I was there to cycle. I would have felt annoyed had I just stayed in the hotel and not done it.
Are you glad now that you did it then?
Oh yeah, totally. And more for that mental. Yeah, more for the mental side of it.
That's why you did it then. You will look back on days like that when you're old and grey with a lot of pride. That's why you do it. It doesn't feel that way at the time sometimes, does it?
No. But the glorious sunshine more than made up for it the following day.
That's awesome. Good for you, man.
Thanks.
Really impressed.
There you go.
I went to the Lake District.
Did you?
Took advantage of the sunshine.
Nice.
Went and hiked up. Had a solo day in the mountains. It was brilliant. Hiked up the Old Man of Coniston. So I was looking over at you, thinking of you actually, because it was one of the clearest days I've ever seen from up there. And I could see all the way to the Isle of Man, and I was thinking, Hals and Rich are over there riding around at the moment.
That was it, and we could see from where we were. We could see snowy peaks.
Yeah, I got to the sort of lakey bit halfway up the Old Man of Coniston, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a bit more snow than I thought there was going to be. Oh, okay, there's quite a lot of snow now here. And on top of the Old Man, no joke, there was a 6-foot snowbank that had blown, and it was a drift, but I've got a photo of me standing next to it, and it's above my head.
Really?
I was in t-shirt, and I could have been in shorts. I didn't have any with me, but it was that kind of day when you're like, this is just surreal. It was like being in the Alps. It was probably 15, 16 degrees, but the last half an hour to get to the top was properly like kicking footholds in the snow to get yourself up there. Yeah, it was awesome.
Were there many other people up there?
There was I saw 4 or 5, I think, on the way up, and then I walked around one of the horseshoes at the top and went up onto the top of the crags, and I didn't see anybody at all for about 3 hours. It was just brilliant. Just sitting there, I found a little nook in the top of the rocks and hid away from, like, sort of just out of the wind, and yeah, it was just brilliant.
Oh, that's cool. So were you up there, Rob, getting some endurance miles in your legs, or was it purely just I just want to be outside?
It was a traditional outward bound solo day. You know what they are? You know, when you go and you take your notebook and your pen and you sit and you're just with your own thoughts for a few hours, and you got to get away from all your distractions.
Yep, I like that.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And I came down, you know, the idea of like the shamanic journey where you're in nature and you feel more alive when you come down. It was that totally. I came down, I was like, I need more of this in my life. I'm going to try and do it every 3 or 4 months, I think. I don't think you even need 24 hours. I think you can do it in like 8 hours, and you feel so disconnected from all the electronic nonsense when you're up there, and so energized when you come back down again. It was just awesome.
That's really, really cool. I felt a little bit similar on the Isle of Man, because it was just a different pace of life and very, very
Yeah.
chilled out. And, I don't think, yeah, it was just really, really nice. And the taxi driver said something like, yeah, I mean, a traffic jam to us is like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that's what life's about, isn't it?
Does it still feel like 20 or 30 years ago? Is that how it feels over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice. So if you
Great
haven't
place to
been
go
to
for
the
a bit
Isle
of
of
a
Man,
retreat.
honestly, get over there. It's really cool. Amazing riding. And actually, once you get out of Douglas, the roads are, some stretches of road are really, really smooth. So you know that European kind of
Oh,
fresh...
there's got to be some motorbikes, haven't they, I bet?
Yeah. So bits of that are very, very smooth. And honestly, there were some stretches, Rob, where we barely saw a car. So you don't have to go all the way to Mallorca for beautiful roads, beautiful scenery, and some
Nice.
awesome cycling.
Did you fly there?
Yep. It's about 30 minutes from Manchester.
Brilliant. You've barely taken off when you're landing again.
One of those little planes where you have to move people around to make sure everything weighs okay.
How far is it across the water from, I don't know, like the coast of the Lake District? Because I was looking at it and going, you can't tell, can you? You can't tell whether it's 3 miles or 20 miles.
Yeah, and I don't know the answer.
Can't be that far if it's 30 minutes in a plane, can it?
No.
And you were allowed to paddled it in a kayak once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long did it
Got
take him?
A good while.
Like days? Hours?
No. Hours. Yeah, he got there the same day.
Nice. Well, the ferry takes a couple of hours, and the Sea Cat takes 2, apparently.
The Sea Cat takes 2.
Oh, yeah, the Sea Cat takes like 2, and the ferry maybe takes 3.
It takes less time than that to get to Ireland on the Sea Cat.
Well, again, that was a taxi driver telling us that.
It depends where you go from, I suppose, doesn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rob,
So,
shall we...
we're getting a bit of natural geography today.
Oh, I know. Wow.
Not any triathlon at all, have we? We've talked outdoor education, we've talked cake and rain, and we haven't talked any triathlon yet.
Should we do some results?
Should we talk about some?
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Go on.
Okay.
So our results today, we haven't got any results, have we? So we're doing previews instead.
Correct.
But we should say our section is brought to us by tgstore.co.uk. As Helen would have found out had a jacket arrived a day earlier. Oh, bless you. I wish you'd had it because you could have been raving about it today. It'd have been a whole different I'm really looking forward to you being out for a ride in the rain next time with your new Gore-Tex jacket on so you can talk about how amazing it is to ride in the rain because you'd have felt so different, mate.
I know, but never mind.
Yeah.
I get that
so
joy
just remember,
too.
Yeah, you get 10% off with the code OxygenAddict10 at tgstore.co.uk. You can enter a competition there to win a £100 jacket of your choice at tgstore.co.uk/OxygenAddict. Get in there and enter your email address, and the draw's made at the end of the month. So, you've got a few days to get in, haven't they, Hells?
Yep, a couple of days.
In the March draw.
Awesome. So let's start off with Oceanside, Rob, because that's one of the. It's like the. We always say, yeah, but it is sort of like the big traditional opener, isn't it? Really for the North American.
Yeah, it definitely
season.
is. Yeah.
So that's quite cool. And Jan Frodeno is going to be racing there. So he won in 2014 and 2015. He was injured last year, so he will be back racing, and it's really cool because Lionel Sanders is also racing, and we already know that he's in very, very good form, and Andy Potts as well. So the three of them have finished on the podium together in recent years, so the three of them will be going head to head again.
Was it last year that Frodeno and Sanders ran side by side?
No, because Frodeno was injured last year.
So it must be the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant rematch.
Totally. So
who'd you fancy?
Oh, well, no, Rob, don't put me under silly pressure.
There's no pressure. It's just a bit of fun. You've got to say Lionel Sanders because he's our mate. I'm backing Lionel Sanders, right? I don't care about the form. I don't care about the record. I think I'm backing him because he posted me his own race suit and signed it for the charity draw. So I'm backing him because he's a legend.
And he's in very good form, whereas we don't quite know, because it's a season opener for Jan Frodeno, how he's going to fare. So, but it's always interesting, isn't it, Rob?
He'd better bring his A game to be racing Lionel Sanders at 70.3. That's for certain.
Yep, absolutely.
I think the days have gone where you can rock up to an early season race and expect a soft win anywhere. Sanders was on fire, wasn't he, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah. It's going to be cool. He says that he only did like 4 races. Jan Frodeno, he said, after only 4 races last season, it felt like an eternity between highlights. So he's got a bit of a busier racing calendar this year. A few halves to kick off the season, 1 in Barcelona, and then he's going to do an Ironman in July and possibly another pre-Kona half to break up the training block.
Ironman in July, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think if it's not announced yet?
Germany, surely.
Germany or Roth?
No, because no, it specifically says an Ironman, so I'm thinking Germany. I know Roth is in Germany, but you know what I mean. I'm thinking he will be doing a Germany Ironman rather than a Germany Challenge event.
Yeah.
But who am I to say?
It depends about the cash, though, doesn't it? I know Roth pays big money for names like him, and they'll be desperate to get Frodeno there, wouldn't they? Desperate to get him there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't do both. So it's got to be either Germany or Austria, hasn't it?
Yeah. And then, Rob, on the women's side, at Oceanside on the start list are Heather Wurtel, who we know is already in good form, Holly Lawrence as well, Heather Jackson, and then Rachel Joyce is going to be making her...
Oh, really?
Yep, she's racing, so it'll be the first race for her since the birth of her son Archie back in September.
Oh, super excited to see how well she goes.
Yeah.
I bet she is as well, actually.
I think so. I mean, when we spoke to her a month or so back, I think she was looking forward to getting back into racing, but equally quite excited to see how she could progress so quickly, and the improvements that she had made, and how it was really difficult at first, but you just make these massive advances compared to recent seasons, whereby it's just marginal gains, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were saying last time, weren't you? It's that whole idea of seeing her times tumble every time she went to the pool.
Yep.
And almost like, this is a fresh start, let's see how fast I can get. So I bet she's got a real, like a 2-part renewed enthusiasm for it. The one part, she's a mum and her whole life's different now, but the second part, she's got no expectations almost.
No, exactly. So it'll be really good to follow that one. And the other person who we should very much keep an eye on, Rob, is Ellie Salthouse, who is coached by Siri Lindley, a young Australian who has been really making inroads over the past year or so. Really impressive.
Awesome. Good to know. Cool. Now, the other big race we've got coming up is Ironman South Africa, isn't it?
It is. So this is going to be on the 2nd of April, and it's the championship event, isn't it? So basically, it's a stacked and stellar field.
Stacked isn't the word. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's beyond stacked.
You got to hand it to Ironman. They said they were going to do this, and they said they were going to draw big, deep fields to their championship races, and they definitely have done, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really... I mean, even just the 2 Brits who I'm about to mention, kind of you're thinking, hey, what can they do? David McNamee and Joe Skipper are both going to be racing. Then you've got Freddie Van Leerd, and we'll come on to some news about him in a moment. Niels Fromhold, is Ben Hoffman doing it, or did I read somewhere that... Ben Hoffman's back.
Yeah.
Defending champion, so...
Yep.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah, and also you've got, Boris Stein, Nico Lanos, James Kanama, Kyle Buckingham, Victor Del Corral, Marcus Fackback. I mean, there's some massive guns on the bike there, aren't there?
Yep.
Harry Wiltshire's racing, so there's your leader out of the water. Wow. So, yeah, good stuff.
Totally. And then...
And under the radar there, right at the bottom, Drew Scott coming back from injury.
There you go.
They predicted him in 11 hours 20. I'm confidently going to say he's going to go faster than that.
It must be weird sometimes, I think, if you're a pro looking at the ratings, because sometimes I reckon you'd look at them and you'd be like, no way, I can do that. And it must make you think, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Yeah, I think the deal with it is it doesn't take into account stuff like, just to pick Drew Scott there, his predicted marathon is 5:36, and so something has clearly happened in his whatever races he's been ranked on, where he's walked it in, and we know he's capable of probably running 250 or 255 on his best day. So all of a sudden that, if it all goes right for him over Ironman distance, he's capable of shooting for the podium at the very least. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to see how it plays out. I want to see how Joe Skipper's responded to his altitude camp in, it was Lake Tahoe he went to, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just been back from a good few weeks in Lake Tahoe. A few of the guys I coach who live out there have not been training with him, but went on rides with him and stuff, and said, "Oh, we saw Joe again today." So he was out there with my mind's gone blank. British lad who did really well. We had him on the show. He did really well at Ironman UK. Brian
Fogarty.
Yes, he was out there with him as well.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, training hard at altitude. It'll be interesting to see how they go, won't it?
It will be. And then in the women's race, Rob, Daniela Reif, Kona champion, is going to be racing, so that's kind of cool. And then Kaiser Lehtinen is also involved, so she won last year. And then Julia Gager, I think Jodie Kanama as well. And then Susie Cheatham is going to be back from injury. Nikki Bartlett's involved. It's going to be a good race.
Yeah, I also saw there was another British named Kate Cumbers racing pro as well.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so good for her. Dimity Lee Dukes and then Natasha Smith. Again, another stacked field, doesn't it?
Yep, absolutely. I reckon Daniela Reif will, I think she'll take it out. But Kaiser Lehtinen, again, she's another one of Sue Lindley's athletes. And then it will be really cool to see how Susie gets back on after a DNF in Kona.
And also, am I right in remembering, was it last year that Jodie Kanama, was it South Africa she crashed and we think it was because of the downdraft off the helicopter?
Oh, I want to say...
Was that last year? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was South Africa last year. If you haven't seen the video of that, go and check it out on YouTube. Because it looks like the helicopter comes in to film her and all of a sudden she's completely flat on the floor. Yeah. And angrily gesticulating at the cameraman, shall we say. So, yeah, I don't know whether that's what actually happened, but that was what was rumoured to have happened, wasn't it?
Well, if that did indeed happen, then let's hope that the cameramen have a better briefing this time.
Yes, let's hope, or the helicopter pilot at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. So, there we go. So, they are the two big races that we were going to preview, aren't they?
Yes. So good. Get yourself on Ironman Live and watch that now then. Do you want to go on to the news about Freddie Van Leerd?
Oh, yeah. So Freddie Van Leerd,
later?
No, let's do some news now because there's a couple of things to mention. So first of all, we just mentioned him there, Freddie Van Leerd, the Ironman champion. Basically, Rob, he was actually mugged whilst training ahead of Ironman South Africa.
Unbelievable, isn't it? People walk out into the road in front of him. It says hit him on the head with sticks. Luckily, in brackets, luckily he was wearing a helmet. Doesn't sound that lucky to me. And steal his sunnies and his mobile phone.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just not good, is it? And
your heart goes out to the guy because God only knows where your mental state must be after something like that's happened to you. You're only a week out from a massive race. Probably racing's the last thing on his mind, you'd imagine. Yeah,
totally, because I think you'd be grateful that nothing serious.
Yeah, God, you'd be grateful that you're alive still.
Exactly. I mean, he sort of did tweet that Freddie's okay and training from now on. He can focus again on Sunday's race. Thanks for all your messages and support. So obviously he is intending to still race, but yeah, as you say, that's going to surely have a bit of a mental impact. And it just sounds horrible.
Yeah, not good at all.
And then
Recover well, Freddie.
The other bit of news, Rob, which to bring you is, this is some happy news. Rinny and Tim O'Donnell are going to be expecting their first baby. So,
yay! Yeah. Awesome.
So that's in August. So 3-time Ironman world champion Marinda Carfrae is pregnant.
Congratulations to the pair of you. They posted a cool photo, didn't they? With a little junior bike and all kinds of tiny baby stuff laid out in transition.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking, like, would they just get in touch with Tia and say, obviously Tia would already know, would they say, look, can you just send us some little baby cozzy or something like that to...
I guess so.
Yeah, to help us announce it.
I guess so.
There you go.
Who knew that Tia made baby swim nappies? But there you go. It looks like they do. Any of you triathletes out there looking for some cool swimwear for your firstborn? Looks like Tia are the place to go to for branded swim nappies.
I tell you, Rob, they definitely do funky kids goggles.
Yeah.
They really do. They're with like little animals on them and stuff. They're very cool. Anyway, there you go. There's the news for this week. What about Coach's Couch?
I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's just give a shout out to the news section sponsor, Triathlon X. You can get £100 off your entry fee with the code Oxygen100. So the website is wasdalex.co.uk. Get over there and check it out. There's just a few spots left. And over to Coach's Couch.
Yeah, so this one came in, Rob, which is from David, and he just says, ice cream head freeze.
And you were not sure what that meant, were you?
No, I replied and I just said, eat more ice cream, simple.
So, David, you're at Wooden Beam on Twitter. We have to apologise for Helen's brevity in her tweet. She didn't quite understand. Right, so ice cream head freeze, Hells, is that phenomenon. It comes from the surfing world of when you go through cold water. It used to be when you duck dived under a wave and you get that feeling in your head. If you know, like when you bite into an ice cream and your head just goes, "Wah!" And it feels like your brain's completely frozen for a second.
Yeah, I've definitely had that at Slate Man.
There you go. Well, that's exactly it. The same thing with swimming, but of course, with cold water swimming, your head and your face are in the water all the time. So it's not just like with the surfing when it happens just when you duck dive under the wave, is it?
No.
So I'm guessing that David is after a bit of advice for how to deal with and how to survive the old ice cream headache. So that's good because he's come to the right place, hasn't he?
Now that I know, what he's referring to, yep. I think I was...
So Slate Man's a great example. So any early season race, it'll be happening a lot at Oceanside in California because it'll be chuffing freezing in the water there as well. Any early season race when the water's really cold, and especially something like Slate Man where the water's really cold and the rivers running into it are just probably snow melt still. If you get into the water just as the hooter's about to go and you start to try and swim, you simply won't be able to do it. You won't be able to keep your face in the water because the human body's got this thing called the gasp reflex, where when you put your face into cold water, it'll make you try and hyperventilate. And it happens in really icy cold water, but it also happens in water about the temperature. Slate Man, usually the temperature is about 12 degrees, isn't it, for the water, which is as cold as are allowed to have it under BTF rules and still have the swim at 1,000 meters. And we've often joked that the organisers have got a magic thermometer to make it register 12 degrees.
They do.
Well, I've swum there a couple of years and thought, I know my water temperature and this feels pretty chilly to me. So you stand on the shore and you watch the start of Slate Man, you'll see the wave go off, people start to swim, and within 50 metres, half of the field are going to be swimming breaststroke. And that's not because they're unfit, it's because they physically can't keep their heads and their faces in the water because of this feeling of brain freeze, the fact they're gasping so desperately. And the way around it, I mean, you already know this, Hells, don't you? What's the way around it? What do you have to do?
Warm up. And you can wear another swim cap under your head, but
cool. Yeah,
definitely a warm-up.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you can really call it a warm-up because there's no way you're actually going to get warm. But we'll talk about the other thing first. You definitely need to wear a second swim hat. And if you want to splash out, you mentioned Tier before, and we'll give them a shout out even though they're not sponsors. They make a kind of thermal swim cap that's like a silver material that works brilliantly. I've got one and it's really, really good. Lots of other manufacturers make neoprene swim hats that go all around your head and all around the back of your head and all around underneath your chin. And if you don't find those too restrictive on your breathing, they're fantastic as well. But you definitely need to try it out before you actually get in on race day, even if it means trying it in the pool and seeing how it feels, because it'll feel really weird and restrictive. So that'll help protect you a little bit, but still you've got this issue of having the really cold water on your face. And the only way around it is just to lie in the water, put your face down in the water and just take it. You know, like you said earlier on, you put your big girl pants on and just think, I'm just going to get through this. If you start your stopwatch, it's going to take no more than 4 minutes for your face to go from, this feels a bit cold, to go to, this is completely unbearable and I can't do it, to, okay, this is just fine now. Those 4 minutes that you spend with your face in the water are going to be absolutely, invaluable to you. And obviously you're going to have to take your face out to breathe and to whimper a little bit and to have a bit of a cry and to talk to the person next to you and say how ridiculous the sport is that we're doing, and then get your face back in the water. And you can do this lying in the shallows. You don't have to swim out into deep water, because you are probably going to have feelings of unpleasantness at the very least, let's say, not necessarily panic, but it can be pretty intimidating at that point. But just keep telling yourself that it's going to go away in 4 minutes. Coach Rob says so. Look at your watch, 4 minutes time, it's going to all be fine, and then that's going to go away. And if you deal with it before the start of the swim happens, you're going to be acclimated to the cold water and you're going to be able to swim. And it's still going to feel cold, but you're not going to be panicking, you're not going to be gasping and hyperventilating, and you're not going to have an ice cream headache. You try and do it as the gun goes, you're in deep doo-doo.
You know, the whole hyperventilation thing.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you in cold water?
Oh yeah, it happens every time we get in cold water. Yeah, it happens to the vast majority of humans, because it's just like a physiological response.
Oh no, I was going to say I had it on an outdoor ed thing once. You know, when you're in secondary school and they make you go in like the middle of December to North Wales, and
like you have to jump into a brook or something.
Oh, that was exactly it. We were canyoning, and I had never been in that situation before, and it was actually quite scary, because you think,
because you think you're having a panic attack.
Yeah, literally could not breathe.
Yeah.
And that would have been even colder than Llyn Padan. Yeah,
exactly. And again, it's down to, firstly, if you've got a good instructor, they'll tell you what to expect, and then you can deal with it. And if you go into a cold water swim knowing what to expect and knowing it's going to feel really unpleasant, and expect that, but tell yourself as part of your mental process that it's going to get better, then it won't be a panic attack. It'll just be quite funny, the fact that your body's responding this way to it, and you'll get through it. It's when it happens. I mean, I remember standing at the edge of the lake that they used for Ironman UK down in Sherborne with 2 Canadian ladies and chatting with them before we got in. And one of them got out and started crying because she couldn't believe the water was so cold. And, we kind of talked her down and said, come on, get back in next to us and you're going to be all right, kind of thing. But when you're not expecting it, if you've grown up swimming in warm lakes and wetsuits are just something that you wear, just like to help your buoyancy, you don't have to wear them because the water's blooming cold where you are. It can come as a massive shock to you.
Yeah. The other one, Rob, which we haven't mentioned, because I know it doesn't exactly do the ice cream brain freeze, but it makes you feel better, doesn't it? Just pee in your wetsuit.
You are such a classy chick.
Yep, there you go.
I'm just imagining what your online dating profile would say. You're going to get some proper specialist interest, aren't you?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, my other tip about that: if you don't want to pee in your wetsuit, if you get into the water, and you're going to have to be super brave, kind of get your fingers down the neck of your wetsuit and let some water into it.
Oh.
Stand up really quickly and close the wetsuit, and then kind of like smooth that cold water down. That'll make the inner liner of your neoprene wet, and that's how it's supposed to be. And you can then kind of get out of the water, flush it out down your legs, and the wetsuit will then seal against your body, and then the cold water can't get in, and then your body can warm up that little layer of water that's trapped in against your wetsuit. If you just get in and you kind of go, I'm going to pretend this isn't happening, and my wetsuit feels kind of tight, and I'm going to pretend it's not going to let any water in, what will happen is every time you breathe, a little bit of icy cold water will sneak into the neck seal or sneak in at the wrist seal, and it's going to feel awful the whole way around. So you've got to just take it, put your Helen Murray patented big girl pants on or big boy pants on, and just take that the first time you get in the water.
I'm actually feeling quite cold.
A race in a warm climate.
Yeah, I feel cold just sitting here talking about it. The thought of the cold water. Anyway, there we go. That's good.
It's all going to be good. You're going to be loving it by the time race season comes around, Hells.
David, thank you very much for your question. And I still eat more ice cream. You'll get more more insulation.
Hells, there's always the possibility that I've misunderstood his question and he was genuinely asking advice about how to eat ice creams better.
Well, I just said eat more of it, so,
Might be
anyway,
that.
There we go. I'm going to shut up.
Oh, cool. Right, what else have we got? By the way of triathlon news, we've got one more event in Rome, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, we do. Because it's a challenge race in Rome, and basically it's a few different distances, Rob. It's going to be the Challenge Roma 753, so it's based on the year that Rome was founded, and they're going to do a 1,753 metre swim.
Yeah.
75.31k bike ride, and a 17.53 kilometre run. It's going to be on July the 22nd and 23rd, so the sprint event on the Saturday, and then the different distances will be on the Sunday.
I've got a guy racing that, actually. One of my boys has entered that one, but I didn't realise that was why the distances were as they are. I'm intrigued that the bike is 75.310 kilometres. They've measured it to the nearest 10 metres. Isn't that? Yeah, good luck with that on the GPS.
Yeah.
Maybe that just happens to be the exact length of the loop, hey?
Well, I'm sure it will come up as 75.4 on someone's, won't it? And 75.32 on someone else's, and 74.8 on someone else's.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And maybe 0 on someone else's because they've forgotten to press go.
I'll tell you what, though, beautiful place to race, but I bet it'll be busy in the middle of July in Rome.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Don't you think? Good luck getting a hotel there.
Yeah, fun times. Anyway, so that's a cool different race. Challenge Roma 753.
Cool stuff. Well, that's pretty much the end of all our stuff and news for this week, isn't it? No interview for you this week. Unfortunately, we haven't managed to get one in the can, but we'll work on it for next week and we'll be back on track as usual. What have you got lined up for the rest of the week, Helen?
Just sort of getting back into the swing of it, Rob, after the half marathon the other weekend, and then the cycling last week. So bit of swim bike run.
A bit of swim bike run. Nothing different for you, hey?
No, not really.
Sounds good. Right, well, listen, I guess everybody, we're going to leave you here. It's been lovely chatting with you all again. I hope we've helped you through at least some of your long run this week. I've been Coach Rob Wilby.
I'm Helen Murray.
And you've been listening to the Oxygenatic Triathlon podcast. Until next week, have a great, safe training and racing week. I'll speak to you again soon. See ya.